Tindy C. This is Radio Fox.
And this is Tindy C from Radio Fox, reporting from the premiere of Killing Emmanuel. And this has basically been described as a compelling drama about a successful businessman and how he proves his worth for a second chance through the karmic cycle of love.
Hi, I'm Drazen Garter and I'm acting as Emmanuel.
Tell us about this film. What would you say it's about?
It's about domestic violence. It's showing that behind closed doors there's horrors that go on, and not many people know, but males from the last year, it's gone up by 50%. It's ridiculous. And no one cares that males get abused and don't believe that it can actually be done. So we're showing on the screen today that not just females can be abused or domestically abused, but males can also.
Would you say that nobody cares, or do you think not enough people know?
I think it's strongly that nobody actually knows. To be honest, when I first started this, I didn't even know myself. I was told the figures and I was absolutely shocked. I was like, really? And as I looked it up myself, done some searching on the web, it was ridiculous. I just gobsmacked.
I was like very impressed with your acting, and also I was like, wow, that really can affect somebody in quite a way, can't it?
I tried really hard to portray it well because I needed people to understand, not even to understand, but to feel, even if there is no words, just the sound of the pain, the anguish, the pain that you hear. It just says the words for you. It explains in detail what goes on.
So how about yourself? How was it playing the part of Emmanuel?
Very difficult. I've played many roles in my time: theatre, Shakespeare, drama, soaps. Playing a character that has to beat up a woman goes against my morals. Zingata means trust, love and believe. I'm a very loving person. That is what it's all about. To see that or to do it myself physically, it kind of messed me up. But it also...
How did you cope with that whilst you were filming?
Just remembered my techniques from drama school and don't let it absorb me too long. Like, it allowed me not to be so absorbed in it, because sometimes it can really mess you up and take a lot out of you.
So what can we look out from you in the future?
Oh, I can't say, actually. I'm not allowed to say, to be honest. I've got some zombie...
Watch this space, yeah?
Yes, watch this space. There is a zombie thing going on at the moment that I'm currently in as well, but I really can't say anything.
I can't imagine you as a zombie.
I'm not a zombie, but like I said,
you make a rather handsome zombie anyway. But
thank you very much.
My name's Lucia Taylor, and the character that I play is called Rose. Rose has issues with understanding self-valuation, self-confidence, and having issues with accepting her self-esteem and who she is. She relies a lot on someone to love her and care for her, rather than accepting to love herself. And that's the battle and the advantage that Killing Emmanuel has over her, really. She's also a very caregiving person, but she's not as strong-minded as she perceives to be, hence why it's so easy for Andre, who plays Killing Emmanuel, or Emmanuel rather, to grasp hold of her personality and dictate and tell her, and really just mould who he wants his woman to be.
Do you think a lot of ladies are like that, are like Rose?
I don't think a lot of ladies, but I do find within the few friends that I do have, and the troubled relationships that they do go through, I do find that they are stripped away from being 100% of themselves just to please and feel secure and wanting to be in a relationship for it to be maintained. And I suppose it depends who you choose as your other spouse at the same time, because you do find a lot of people are in need of to be loved, and that just could be throughout generations. They're in need to be loved, but yet again they haven't loved themselves before entering into a relationship. So yeah.
One thing I find about Rose, she's a thoroughly likeable person.
Yeah, she's very likeable, but then she has that other side to her where she lacks of knowing who she is. And that, I think, is the cover-up of what Rose has. Do you know what I mean? She has that, oh, I'm this kind of strong-minded person, but behind closed doors, it's the complete opposite, really. And I have to be thankful and touch wood that I haven't been through that personal side of Rose, but the side of Rose that I do relate to is being strong-minded and being career-minded and being creative and supporting other artists, or doing something of myself where people come and support me. It was very, very difficult throughout the whole of the week playing Rose. Emotions were up and down, and then I had family celebrations to go to after finishing filming. It was very, very hard. I found tapping into my own personal experiences when I was younger, I found that hard as well, because I normally suppress things and keep everything down. It was awful for me, but good for me at the same time.
I understand you're a singer, yeah?
Yes, I'm a singer-songwriter, and I do soul. I do live band soul music. I'm also a recently upcoming baby-born blogger for Project U, which Joella, who plays Remy, is a part of as well. And that really stabilizes and maintains and raises awareness towards more for women, really. We're looking to try and gain it towards men, but more for women, of raising awareness of your self-respecting yourself, your confidence, your validation, your self-esteem. You'll catch me on YouTube or Facebook in the music of Lushea.
Hi, my name is Emil. This is the premiere of Killing Emmanuel, and I play the character Lee. Really, we understand that women are the ones that usually will be abused and treated unfairly, but this one is actually the other way around, where the male is not the one that's in control. There's a lot of manipulation involved. There is violence. It's actually quite shocking because these things do happen. So when they do watch it, they're gonna have a better understanding of why it happens.
So obviously domestic violence is a lot more than just physical.
Yeah, it's definitely mentally as well. So there's a lot of communication where he thinks he's, like I said, he thinks he's in control, but really there's a lot of twists to it. You'll see him breaking down from someone who is very high up to somebody who's pretty much completely mentally drained, mentally down and exhausted because of what his partner is doing to him.
Wow. Do you think this is quite common generally?
I wouldn't say it's common, no. I would say it's rare, but at the same time, it shouldn't really be like unrecognized. These things do happen, and people can laugh about the situation, but it is a serious topic at the end of the day as well.
Do you think we don't hear about it so much because of men feeling that their masculinity might be somewhat challenged if they were to actually address those issues and tell people this is happening to them?
Yeah, I mean, everyone goes by the social norms. So when it comes to, okay, it's all about male and power and trying to be the alpha of it all. But when you hear it the other way, people will just laugh at the situation. So in this one, it kind of ejects the social norms and you see it a different way. You will see my character as protective of Emmanuel. Like, he doesn't like what happens to him. He sees that he's changing, mentally going down, and just not as he used to be because of the new relationship that he's in. So he pretty much wants to make things right. You could say he's like the voice of reason.
My name's Precious Crystal Noel. My stage name is Pre Crystal, and I'm playing the role of Karma.
Oh, you're playing the role of Karma.
Everyone says that. Everyone says that. But it's not really Karma's not that bad. She's okay. She is just a woman that she wants it all, basically, and she does it in a way that people don't like, obviously, but I don't think she's a bad person. She's just she knows what she wants, and she doesn't take any,
Do you think there's a lot of women out there like that at the moment?
Yes, recently I think there is a lot of women out like that out there. I think that's, in a way, it's good, because I think a lot of women, they hide. Like, being a woman is a powerful thing. Like, I enjoy being a woman. I think you should go out there, follow your dreams, go after everything that you want, and not necessarily in the way Karma does, because she has no feelings, but why not? Go for what you want. I don't see the problem.
So why do you think the women's attitudes are changing a little bit in this respect?
I think they've had enough.
So they're sick of being doormats, yeah?
They've had enough. I mean, it's not 1940s, it's 2015. They've had enough. Like, it's time to step up your game, go out there for what you want, don't hide behind a man, just go for it.
What do you think the significance of this story is? What effect will it have on audiences?
I think basically the film is based on domestic violence. It's going to raise awareness about domestic violence. A lot of people do not talk about it. B, they do not talk about men being involved in domestic violence. It's always looked at the woman is getting beaten up or mentally abused or anything, and then that's not the case. It's equal. It's men and women. And I think a lot of people all over the world, there's certain topics that people do not talk about, and it needs to be it needs to be spoken about more.
How was playing the role of Karma? How was that for you?
It was fun. It was very challenging, but it was fun. I say it's challenging because as a person, I'm full of emotions. I'm, 1 minute I'm happy, 1 minute I'm sad. Like, I'm not scared to show my emotions. With Karma, it was very direct. Like I said, she was just very out for what she wanted to get, and there was no emotion to be shown. So that was hard, but at the same time, it was very fun. I think it's the best character that I've played so far.
Hi, I'm Joella Olivia and I played Remy in Killing Emmanuel. I got a drama degree last year and I'm a mum now as well.
Oh, lovely. How did you find playing the role?
Well, I found playing the role really empowering because to me it's really important to have that friend that is really real with you and really straight to the point with you, to try and give you as much advice as they can in the beginning of their intuition of somebody. Obviously, an abuser and a perpetrator always sort of has sort of a nasty streak, and a lot of people who can sense vibes and stuff can sort of pick that up and feel that in people when they're not very nice sort of thing. And I'm sure her best friend was able to see that things weren't right in their relationship, and she tried to warn her of these things. And I think even though I played a small part, it's been a very emotional journey because I'm battling my own domestic abuse situation at the moment. I'm actually in Sandwell Women's Aid Refuge. So to have those professionals here at the event, it was really good to be able to talk to them and see what they think on stuff like that, because I suffered mental and emotional abuse rather than physical.
So have you found doing this film almost like therapy?
Well, kind of. Obviously, I wasn't playing the main character, the victim that was being abused. So every time that there was a very abusive scene, I would have to walk out the room because it was too close to home sort of thing. I was used to being shouted at. I was used to the abuse and the name calling and the aggression. Luckily, it didn't get too physical because I had a baby involved. But I was used to sort of that environment. So coming into work, as you call it, to do my scene and then having to watch their scene, it really hurt because it was very close to home. But I'm an advocate for the film. I'm an ambassador for the film, even though I am in a short part, because I love what it stands for. I love that it is raising awareness of it. It's something so close to my heart right now because I'm surrounded by women that are suffering at the moment from domestic abuse, because I live in that environment right now. Obviously, like Louise just said, we're part of a project trying to help women bring back their self-confidence, bring back self-love, and we're trying to make it a trend, if you want to call it, amongst women. And I'm using my experiences basically to help other women because I find that therapeutic.
I'm Larice Brown, and I was set designer for Killing Emmanuel.
What kind of messages do you think the movie is sending out to audiences out there?
Well, it's showing obviously that domestic violence is very real, it's very harsh, and a lot of people tend to be closed about it and don't tend to talk about it. So, it was very real. Even like when we was filming it was very tense as well.
Because I assume a lot of people have actually experienced or seen domestic violence in their own lives, but a lot of people don't talk about it, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. No one doesn't really talk about it. Like, they're scared to come out. It's like they want to, but they are actually really scared. And I actually understand it more now. You can't come out. You feel like you're literally trapped in this situation.
My name's Sian Mayer, and I'm from Midland Heart, and I manage safe houses for women fleeing domestic violence. And I'm here tonight because one of the actors lives in another housing scheme that I manage.
How would you describe domestic violence?
I would say that domestic violence is something that affects millions of women in Britain. It's very underrated how many people it affects. And actually it can affect any woman at any time in her life. It affects 1 in 3 women at some point in their lives.
Right, okay. So what kind of forms of domestic violence are there? I mean, a lot of people are used to physical violence. I assume there's a lot more different types of violence.
Yeah, absolutely. We see lots of financial abuse, so where people haven't got control on how they feed their family, on what bills they can pay. So that presents lots of issues. Debt with their housing, it might result in them being evicted. Obviously, sexual violence as well is something that people don't talk about very much.
Would you say it's prevalent in one community, or is it across the board in all communities?
I would say it's across all communities. I think there are some myths and stereotypes about certain communities, but I don't think that those are accurate. I think that if we look at the women that are murdered every year, you'll see that they are across all communities in Britain. And it's approximately 2 women a week that are killed by their partner or ex-partner.
Okay, so who do you expect the typical victim to be in a domestic violence situation?
I think that there is no typical victim. There are some stereotypes about who a victim might be, but any woman could become, or any man could become a victim of domestic abuse. Domestic abuse is gaining power and control over somebody else, so that person is broken down in a systematic way. So they might start out being one type of person, but they can change into another type of person, and part of the support that we give is to rebuild people again, to give them back their self-esteem and their self-confidence, and so that they don't blame themselves as well for what's happened.
You did mention there that men can also be victims of domestic violence. Is this common or not?
It's as far as we know from research and statistics, it's less common, and often the severity is less. Less men are murdered by their partners than women. However, there is certainly domestic abuse from women to men. Sometimes people think that there aren't services for men, but there are services out there for men.
So generally, if somebody is suffering from domestic violence, what is the best thing that they should do? What would you advise them, male or female? What's the best thing that they should do?
I would advise them to think about a safety plan. So if it becomes very, very difficult and they feel they need to get out, how are they going to do that? So they need to, if it's possible, they can confide in someone, they can contact the police. They can also phone a helpline, and there are free helplines run by Women's Aid and Refuge across the country, and that will help to put them in touch with a refuge that can give them a safe place to stay if that's what they need.
Hi, my name is Stefan Zakaya, and I'm a filmmaker from Birmingham.
Firstly, I've got to ask you, what inspired you to get involved with this movie?
My inspiration came from past experience, being a witness of domestic violence, not necessarily a victim, but a witness. And I thought to myself, it's not really exposed as much as female victims of domestic violence. So I thought, okay, why not put it out there? I like to tell stories that people don't like to speak about, and that are probably of a taboo subject as well.
Do you think it's a lot more present in society than we actually even realise or appreciate?
To be honest, it is definitely present in society, but it's not vocalised as much as it should be. For instance, I mean, if there was a male victim of domestic violence, I feel like a lot of people would make fun of it. They wouldn't take it as serious as they would with female victims of domestic violence. So this is why I would like to stand up for male victims and say, no, we need to stop this now. Let's find a solution for it. What's the root cause of the problem? Where did it stem from? And this is why Killing Emmanuel was born.
All right, so was it your brainchild?
I guess so.
So did you have a lot to do with the writing of this piece as well?
Yes, I wrote the whole script, to be honest, and I directed it. I'm very happy with the turnout as well. I'm overwhelmed at the moment.
So do you assume that a lot of people would think the typical victim of domestic violence would be a woman?
Yes, I definitely do that. And if they do think there are male victims of domestic violence, there's not much said about it. As I said, I feel like a lot of people make fun about it because men are supposed to have this dominant aura about them, and men ain't supposed to cry, be manly. Yeah, you're not allowed to cry. I mean, we get told all these things about by society, but then at the same time, it's the complete opposite. Like, guys, we tend to keep our emotions inside. We keep them locked inside because we can't find the space to basically ejaculate that emotion. Because when it becomes emotion, I feel like people look at it like you're being a woman, you're being a female. Stop acting like that, man up. When really we're all human beings at the end of the day.
So how do you expect the audiences to receive this film?
To be honest, because it's a very controversial film and we're showing domestic violence from both perspectives, I actually have no idea how the audience is going to receive it, but I know it's a very emotional film, so hopefully everybody enjoys it.
It does seem quite groundbreaking.
I hope they see it like that.
Hi, I'm Idris. I'm the producer of Killing Emmanuel, and I'm a filmmaker.
And we have just seen the film, and congratulations, it was really well done.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys liked it, and I know a lot of people really liked it as well. I think we got a really good response from it, and I'm happy for that. I think people kind of got the general idea of it, and what's important is for people to kind of understand and feel for the characters. And that was our job, really.
Was there any reason that you wanted to get involved in this project in particular?
Mostly because I wanted to do a challenging subject. Obviously, domestic violence isn't talked about as much as other subjects. I know mental health is being kind of picked on at the moment this year, but I know domestic violence needs to be kind of spoken to, and not a lot of people talk about it. If they do talk about it, they'll from from the woman's point of view, when really there's two sides to the story. This year alone, the majority of victims of domestic abuse have been males. I think the media and TV shows and magazines and stories have taught us that females are always the vulnerable ones and always the victims. And really, you don't know what's really behind the doors.
No, because I think a lot of people, they don't appreciate all the different types of violence there can be, and you did do a very good job of demonstrating that in the film.
Luckily, we managed to kind of show it properly, and we got the right reactions because people did feel for Emmanuel in the end, and that was our intention, for people to hate him first and then feel for him.
So now I guess that you've raised awareness of this issue. Where to next? Where do you think this will go to next then?
So the intention for the film that me and Steph have decided was to go through the festival route first and then do a campaign on it. Because I know there'll be a lot of people interested in it, especially if there's names of festivals behind it, and we can show that through schools, through companies, and through organisations who deal with domestic violence. But after this, we're gonna carry on with other projects. We're not gonna stop. This isn't the end. We're gonna
It's the start, isn't it?
Yeah, it's literally the start. But yeah, this is literally the beginning of a chain of amazing work. And the next project that we're gonna do, that we're gonna plan is it's one of my projects actually, which I'm starting to write. It's gonna be based on child abuse and mental health.
Is there anything else you'd like to add today?
People need to think twice, male or female, of what they're doing, and not just physically but verbally.
Whether it's male or female, do not accept anybody minimalizing or minimizing who you are.
Killing Emmanuel is one of those films that needs to be seen purely to understand the issue that is out there and still out there. If people see it, they may want to take action and do something about it. I feel it's the next step to helping people in society.
I want people to talk about it more. I want people to research about it more and not be afraid about it, because it happens a lot, more than we think. Before I started filming this, I had to do some research on domestic violence, and it blew my mind.
We need to stop overlooking it and do something about it.
It's not just physical, it's emotional. And that happens more so than physical, I think, because the mind is a powerful thing. So also I want this film to make that aware as well. You know, it's mental abuse as well.
I would like to say to all listeners, being a victim of domestic abuse, as a child, I witnessed domestic abuse for many years. So as an adult, this is not the first time I've been in a refuge. I was also in a refuge as a child. And what I would like to say to your listeners is that don't ever be ashamed of your story, because your story can have such an impact on, even if it's just one person, it can have such an impact and it can inspire so many people. Be strong, keep your head up, go and get the support that you need. Speak, be open, be expressive, and do whatever it is you have to do to be proud of you. No dream is too big.
Check out the trailer on YouTube, Killing Emmanuel on YouTube, and you'll be hearing about us very, very soon.
Tindy C. This is Radio Fox.